That's very good. Okay, yeah. Hello, hello, hello. Testing, testing. 1, 2, 3. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Welcome. I'm back. Back again. Martin's back. Back again. Martin's back. Martin's back. Martin's back. Ah. So I just got back from a wedding. Lovely wedding. Fantastic. The best wedding I've ever been to. It was in the jungle. It was in the jungle, and the lion of the jungle had decided to get married, and so he invited all the members of the jungle went along to this wedding, and I was there to represent the human race, so I was there, and it was amazing what I saw. All the animals were all queuing up, all of them, the crocodile, the tiger, the elephant. The elephant had a lovely gift, big washing machine on his back. The tiger was basically carrying a fridge, and the crocodile, he had some plates and bowls and that kind of thing. Every single animal that you can imagine, all lined up with gifts. And I saw there, right in the middle of the queue, was a tiny little mouse, and it was eventually his turn to stand in front of the lion and give him a gift. And he reached inside his pocket and he pulled out a checkbook, and he wrote down, "My brother, £100." And he tore the cheque off and he gave it to the lion. The lion looked at it with a big smile on his face and saw that he had addressed him as my brother. And with a mighty roar, the lion screamed at him and said, "Who do you think you are, addressing me as your brother? I'm a lion and you're a mouse." And the mouse said to him, he said, "Relax, brother." He said, "Before I got married, I was also a lion." Anyway, I just thought I'd start off with a little joke today. And got myself a coffee. I've just finished getting my orders out. 54 today, 53 yesterday. And my sales, my run rate on eBay has just crossed over £10,000 for the first time in about 6 or 7 years. It used to be 12, 13, 14, 15,000. But you know, I had that big dip, so it's been creeping its way up. But the thing is, it's creeping up after I had a holiday. And the thing is, I'm going to have another holiday at the end of the month. I'm going away for another week. I sort of sod it, it's too cold, man. I'm going away. I thought, why not? You know, I'm 60 now, got to basically look after myself and enjoy my life before it's too late, because there's no point waiting until retirement, because when I'm retired, I might not be able to get out and about. You know what I mean? You just don't know what's going to happen. Why? I had a terrible dream last night. A really, really, really bad dream. Worst dream I've ever had. Crying my eyes out of the dream. Couldn't talk. I was kind of mumbling. And it was my mother was there, my father was in the dream, people that I didn't know existed were in the dream. And I felt as if I'd had a stroke. And I was crying my eyes out. Crying my eyes out in the dream. And I eventually woke up. And the first thing I did was speak. And because the dream was so long, where I was kind of mumbling, more like this, when I was younger, I was a younger version of myself. And I was so relieved that I could speak. But the words that I used when I spoke was, "What does that mean?" That's the words, that's what I spoke. And the first thing that came to my mind is, there's change coming, change is coming. And there's a big, massive planetary alignment going on at the moment, like you would not believe. If you're into astrology, you'll understand what I'm on about. If you don't, then you'll think it's nonsense, and you're probably right. But nevertheless, there's a big planetary movement going on, and Uranus is just about to move into Gemini for 7 years, because it takes 84 years for Uranus to go around the sun. And they reckon that this is the defining moment, or the end. This is the end and the beginning. This is the end of the age of Pisces and the beginning of the age of Aquarius. And we're going to see massive change. And this is the thought that I had when I woke up last night. And I thought, Mars, just go and enjoy yourself. Don't worry about the future. Just live for the moment. So I've booked a holiday. I'm off at the end of the month. But on another matter, I also wanted to basically get away from all these item not received cases I'm getting at the moment. I've never known it so bad. Oh, it's really in me off. I've gone into writing on some of the the eBay, you know, they have a business sellers group. I've gone into that to see what other people are saying, and sure enough, everyone's saying the same thing. And my postmen are basically telling me that they've banned overtime, and that they are instructed that if you haven't delivered all your items in the shift that you've got, to bring it back to base, and it's causing backlogs. But the Royal Mail are basically telling the media that it's down to absence and sickness, and they're probably true, because when they've got absence and sickness, it's usually as a result of actually making the staff do more with less, and they get stressed and go off sick, and that's going to cause further backlogs. Why? Because there's obviously just got a new owner and he's trying to prove himself and he's trying to make the business pay, and he thinks by coming in and making these changes here, there and everywhere that it will make it profitable. He doesn't realise that this is Britain, mate, and you're going to end up basically affecting the customer service, the customer experience. Everything's going to deteriorate, and the British public will not have it. They won't. They're already writing to their MPs and contacting the BBC and everything, and they're writing articles about it. And then you've got all the sellers and everything, and we're not going to accept it either. So we're going to speak up on the platforms and everything. You know, I've come to the conclusion that what they've got to do is do away with second class. We're not second class citizens. First class, second class, it's something from the old Imperial days. We need to get rid of that. We need a level playing field. In actual fact, just get rid of Royal Mail 48 and 24 and just go Royal Mail 24 tracked, the one service for everybody. An equal, balanced playing field so we can all compete on even terms and have a 98% items delivered on time in full. That's what we want. I don't mind paying a bit more for it. Customers won't mind paying a bit more for it as long as you deliver on time in full at a rate of 98% performance level. That's what we want, Mr. Whoever you are, Mr. Czechoslovakia. You know, we're not Czechoslovakia, this is Britain, and we have a different kind of dynamic going on compared to Europe. In a previous job, I used to work for a company called JohnsonDiversey, and we had a logistics challenge of actually getting engineers onto site to actually fit dosing equipment for washing machines and dishwashers and that kind of thing, and you know, big laundries that used to wash all the hospital gear, you know, the surgeons and everything. And we had to keep them going functional all the time, because if they went down operationally, then they couldn't wash the gear that the surgeons and the nurses used in the operational theatres. So we had to get engineers on site, and sometimes an engineer might have to drive 2 or 3 hours to get to site. And when he got there, he didn't have the equipment, so he'd have to go and find the equipment, because we would arrange to be delivered on site. So it was a massive logistics nightmare. In Holland, for instance, they said, we can get 4 or 5 visits for an engineer on a day, why can't you? And that's because they have greater density. They had more of their operational people and functions, businesses that they serviced within like a few miles of each other. France was worse. France, they'd have to drive between, it could be a 7-hour drive between cities. But anyway, I'm digressing. The point is that for the first time ever, although I'm a capitalist, I believe in the free market, I think that the Royal Mail is too precious, and it's too much of an operational requirement for too many online businesses now. Customers want their items fast and free, and we don't want. They don't want like it's taking 11 days for some items to be delivered at the moment. It's not cricket, mate. It ain't cricket. They're not operating according to the rules, and the rules say that they'll deliver within 48 within 48 hours, 24 within 24 hours, and they ain't doing it. It's not the people's fault. I don't even think it's the middle management. I think it's the new owner. That's what I think. I understand that the unions aren't happy, and that they have the other thing that they're saying that they're doing is that they're actually trying a new shift pattern to fit in with this new approved delivery pattern, where they're going to deliver certain things. I don't know what class it is. I think it's basically penny stamp letters, or even second class letters, or second class packets every other day, 3 days a week, week 1, and then 2 days a week, week 2, and it's going to roll. And they're trying to actually get the people to work around those shift patterns. But the people aren't robots, are they? You know what I mean? They're not robots, they're human beings. And they've got work patterns or family patterns to actually fit in. And they'll probably try and shove and ram people into their new shift pattern, and there'll be resistance. And people just go sort of sick or start looking for a job elsewhere. And they're saying that they haven't got enough staff, that there's sickness and absence, and they can't recruit. I wonder why. What about you, Carl? Are you experiencing these delays? I am, and it's painful. That's why I'm going on holiday. But there's not a lot else to report on really, but my sales are good. I can't complain about that. I often think during the day, what would I do without my dad? Because my dad takes a lot of pressure off me. You know, he picks and he measures, he counts, he bags it up and he puts it in there for me to dispatch. And he's probably picking about 50 to 60% of the stuff. And without him, I'm going to have to basically, I would see myself having to actually start picking and packing at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning. It would take me till about 4 o'clock in the afternoon to do it on my own. I'm pretty sure of it. Although I can see that I can basically organise the work according to what they call the SKU. You can sort it in a different order. I've done that in the past, and it helps because you might see several products that people have bought, and you're just going, well, I'll get that item out and I'll pick those 7. And I've done it, and it's impacted my dad, and my dad got all 6s and 7s with it. He didn't like it at all. He said, "Put it back the way it is, you know, I'm going to say the word." And so I thought, I ain't going to argue with him. It just upsets him. He likes to see it in the order, in sequence, in the order in which it came in. It's okay, fair enough. But what about these item not received cases, folks? Are you happy about it? I mean, perhaps, you know, resellers probably don't have that many. You're probably sending most of it by tracked anyway, track services, because I would imagine a lot of your stuff is in the packet or the parcel rate. A lot of my stuff is large letter, so I send it 48 rather. I used to send it 24. I wish I'd stayed with it now. You remember all that palaver? If you go back and watch my videos, you'll know what I'm on about. But I've actually thought, what would happen if I just basically make it, you know, bite the bullet and go to track services all round, even large letter track services. It would probably add another about £1.20 on the postage costs. And I thought, well, I'd have to basically incentivise customers to spend more. So bigger discounts. So one of the things I've got to do is go and look to see on eBay. There's this one where you know they've got like you can apply it right across the board, and you can say, for instance, spend £30 and get £10 off, for example, 33% discount. Or spend £100 and get 25 or 25% off. You can structure it in a way, but I kind of need to do my numbers and figure it out. Exhausting, isn't it? Bloody exhausting. Right now, I've got to get on with my VAT. My VAT's due, and there's digital services are coming up. I spoke to my accountant the other day, and he said to me, I asked him when it's coming. It's in another 3 months. He said, get your VAT done this quarter now, before you go on holiday. And he suggested that the next period, instead of doing 3 months of VAT, do 2 months of VAT. And that will then coincide with when I'm expected to do the first quarterly digital return, because it's going to roll every 3 months. So my VAT return and the tax reporting, my end of quarter reporting will coincide, and it'll do it at the same time. It should be cheaper for me. Not cheaper, it just sort of, I should only incur, because I'm incurring a cost anyway for them doing the VAT. So that's kind of good news. But it's all changed, mate. It's all changed, and that's what these planets are saying, that there's massive, massive change coming up. They reckon Iran's going to fall. Russia's going to go down with it. I reckon this Epstein thing is going to basically bring out all these billionaires down and everything. You could see revolutions in countries and all that kind of stuff. With a new world order they're talking about. As long as they sow and craft in this new world order, I'm going to be happy. Which I think they will do, because I rather suspect they're going to have more leisure time than they've ever had before. And they're not going to be able to buy clothes from China anymore, and they're going to have to repair, fix or make their own clothes. It might be good for me. Who knows? We'll see what happens. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And give me some feedback, please. Share. Invite your friends to like. I've only got 158 subscribers. Obviously, people don't like what I say. But anyway, I'll check you later. Thank you. Bye.